There's a woman in this week's countdown who didn't believe in ghosts until she went to France to make a record and spent a night in an ancient chateau. Now she believes. Details and her current smash are coming up. Every week, American Top 40's heard in the 50 states and around the world on great radio stations like Rome's hot radio station K98, WKCX, Rome, Georgia, WMPO AM, the Valley's hot number 1390, Middleport, Ohio, and commercial radio, Hong Kong. Now, here's the singer from the Grand Canyon State, Arizona's other natural wonder, Stevie Nicks, with a hit she took to number 4. Now tumbling 10 notches to 18, it's Talk to Me. Survey song number 18, falling 10 notches, Stevie Nicks and Talk to Me. It's from an LP called Rock a Little.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Well, now we're up to the woman whose life was changed when a supergroup went shopping for a new studio to record in. In 1968, she was in San Francisco singing and writing songs in a band called Fritz, a band that featured Lindsey Buckingham. That group eventually broke up, but this young woman and Lindsey Buckingham stayed together as a duo. In the early 70s, they moved down to Los Angeles and cut an album called Buckingham Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. But the album didn't do too well, and Stevie took a job as a waitress, while Lindsey worked as a session guitarist. During that time, a famous English band was in town looking for a new studio to record in. They were checking out a place called Sound City. An engineer there put on a tape to demonstrate the studio's technical qualities. It was the Buckingham Nicks album, and the famous English band who heard it was Fleetwood Mac, and they were so impressed that they asked Stevie and Lindsey to become members. What followed were multi-platinum albums like Rumors and Tusk, smash singles like Rhiannon, Dreams and Hold Me, and Stevie Nicks' success as a member of Fleetwood Mac has allowed her to pursue what's become a very successful solo career. Her first solo album, Belladonna, hit number 1 and generated 4 top 40 hits, and her new solo album, The Wild Heart, is currently number 5 on the album chart. A hit from it is at number 5 this week on American Top 40. Here's Stevie Nicks and Stand Back. Stevie Nicks moving up a notch in our countdown to number 5 on American Top 40 with Stand Back. 4 big ones to number 1, and we're counting them down.
Casey's Coast to Coast. Coast to Coast.
Once a week with AT40, and you know where your favorite songs are. Well, now we're up to the latest hit by a woman who never used to believe in ghosts. Not long ago, Stevie Nicks was working with her group Fleetwood Mac at a recording studio in France. The studio was built inside an ancient French chateau, the place, by the way, where Elton John recorded his album Honky Chateau. Well, as Stevie Nicks told Rolling Stone magazine, she was sleeping in her room late one night when suddenly she was awakened by the sound of flapping wings. The noise stopped. Then she heard a whir, and something brushed against her cheek. Suddenly her lamp went on by itself, but she saw nothing. For several minutes she lay in bed terrified, too frightened to even scream. Then she leaped out of bed and ran down the hall to her secretary's room. Eventually she calmed down enough to go back to bed. But when she awoke in the morning, the French doors to her room suddenly flew open, knocking over her desk. Once again, Stevie took off down the hall. She was told by the people who run the chateau that she had been visited by the ghost of the castle. They said, "He's a good ghost. He'll not hurt you. He just wants to make himself known." Well, after the ghost made itself known to former non-believer Stevie Nicks, she said, "If the ghosts are friendly and willing to talk, I'm ready to sit down any time." This week, Stevie sits down with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers at number 24. Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Stevie Nicks, after 10 consecutive weeks in the top 10, falls from 7 to 24 with Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Stevie Nicks with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
I'm Dave Roberts, sitting in for Casey Kasem on American Top 40. Quite a few years ago, writer Dorothy Parker wrote a 2-line poem that goes like this. Men don't make passes at girls who wear glasses. It became a popular saying, and a lot of people believe it. Like one of the prettiest women in the countdown this week, Stevie Nicks. Ever since she was a little girl, Stevie has worn thick lenses to correct her nearsightedness. But when she began her career as a rock singer, Stevie would leave her glasses backstage. She says, quote, "I never ever saw my audiences. When I'd be on stage, every light would be a blurred star. I had this incredible light show going on in front of me." Stevie also nearly fell off the stage on several occasions just because she couldn't see the edge as she moved around. So recently she gave contact lenses a try. She says that even with contacts, she still can't see beyond the first 4 rows, but she's no longer in danger of falling off the stage. She also says it's neat to see better, but also a little scary, 'cause you can see people's eyes. This week, starry-eyed Stevie Nicks is in our countdown with Don Henley. At number 21, here's Leather and Lace. Her first time outside of Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks hit the top 40 with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers with Stop Dragging My Heart Around. This second time, she's in with Don Henley of the Eagles at number 21 with Leather and Lace. I'm Dave Roberts, sitting in for Casey Kasem on American Top 40.
It's from coast to coast.